This is my take on the current situation in Burma. The Burma military dictators have never lost their grip on power in Burma. The Burma generals hold deception as their greatest tactic. It is their foundation for holding power over all the ethnic people. After all, their tactic to co-opt Aung San Suu Kyi in 2015 did not take long at all. They allowed her to assume power because they knew of her loyalty to her father, General Aung San, who was the champion of Burmanization, his deep desire to completely Burmanize the region, attacking the amazing ethnic people such as the Karen, Karenni, Shan, Kachin, Arakan, and the many others. General Aung San was so relentless in his pursuit of a Burmanized nation that he would demand the Burmanization of the ethnic people by demanding Burmese soldiers to rape the ethnic women to Burmanize their blood. Over 70 years of bloodshed to oppress and destroy the most amazing ethnic people that collectively make up the majority of Burma. The 2021 Burma military coup should be no surprise to most. The Burma generals have always known the closest they would ever come to an artificial democracy would be to ride close to Aung San Suu Kyi, whom they knew had loyalty to her father in Burmanizing the region. So they created the optics that they desired democracy when in fact they never had any desire or intent to democratize that region. The stated position of the Burma generals has always been to destroy all ethnic people, dominate the land, all with a smile, and under the guise of the NCA, the nationwide ceasefire agreement. After co-opting some ethnic leaders, they used this deceptive tool to relegate, weaken, and undermine those freedom-loving people that only sought to retain their land, live a simple life, and have peace. The NLD and the Burma generals basically were using each other to advance their own agendas, both of which never included protecting our ethnic people, but instead, both of them sought to marginalize them and destroy them. After the recent election, the Burma generals likely realized they would never be able to pull off convincing the world that they are democratizing the region. Instead, they did a very calculated move to seize the NLD leaders and take military control of the region. Not that they ever lost their control, because they have always retained their power. The NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, was compromised by the corrupt and brutal Burma generals. Yet, when the Burma generals realized they no longer had a need for the ruse of pretending to seek democracy through the NLD, they did what they are best at: totalitarian control, and they turned on the NLD. When countries around the world protested this coup, the Burma generals simply acknowledged they have the support of both Russia and China and will continue with their plan for a one-year military-led government, which is nothing new, as they have always been in full control of Burma, even when the world naively thought the corrupt generals had good intentions. It is believed by many experts in the region that the corrupt and brutal Burma generals will use this time to try to target the ethnic groups and hit them hard, beating them into submission to finally finish what they started: to completely Burmanize the region by force. That the UN's hands are tied, as is the International Criminal Courts, because the UN Security Council is held hostage by both Russia and China, who hold veto power, preventing any action taken against the corrupt and brutal Burma regime. The times are very vulnerable. As we have seen prior to this, the Burmese generals have mobilized their soldiers to begin to dominate ethnic-controlled areas, knowing good and well what was lying ahead in their coup efforts, their ability to dominate that region more than ever. The sad reality is that Aung San Suu Kyi was used by the corrupted generals to convince the world they desired democracy, and all the money that Aung San Suu Kyi gathered around the world as she campaigned on behalf of the corrupted Burmese generals was basically used only to build a stronger army to target our ethnic people. The reality that lies ahead is open for debate. For those that seek freedom and self-determination, the only likely chance would be for all the ethnic people to unite and stand as one, as they then become the majority, and stand against this brutal totalitarian regime. Both the NLD and the corrupt and brutal Burma generals can never be trusted, nor those greedy individuals that sold out their people for the almighty dollar in the name of the NCA, which all this time has never held any legitimacy. My hope is the world will recognize they propped up a totalitarian regime under false pretense, and that the world would turn their attention to defend our amazing Karen, Karenni, Kachin, Shan, Arakan, and the many others. To all of our people suffering in the region, we stand with you, we believe in you, we love you, and we pray for you. May God be with you and protect you in these perilous times ahead.